You closed some deals. Great. How were you dressed? What were you saying? Were you listening first, talking second? Go do a job. You didn't get it. Did you talk first? Did you not look professional? Did you not say how much value you could bring to people like you brought to other clients? What missed? What was it, right? Figuring out, Dave, what worked and what didn't work is part of us seeing into the future what we want.
How do you find the time for yourself to invest in you to evolve personally and professionally on a daily basis, knowing all of the other stuff you have coming at you right now?
So that's a great question. I have a coach, and I went to the NAPSA program, David. It was put on by the NFLPA, Retired Players Association. It was at Penn State in 2018. It was conducted by Mr. Bradley Mitchell, and Brad became my coach. And I talk with Brad once a week on how I'm doing, what's going on, where I'm at. And we always have a balance system. Like I practice self-care. I'm a gym guy, and morning runs and pedicures and taking care of myself and trips and all these things in my downtime. When I work, I work. When I'm with my daughter, like I'll pick up day at 5 o'clock, so at 4:30, movies at 5, boom. Like I may do something when she goes to sleep around like 9, but if she was at 10, I will be asleep then. Catch it tomorrow, right? I've learned that you can't do everything in one day. So don't try. Learn how to balance yourself. Because if you're trying to do something and you're not charged and you don't have a good fuel in all the fuel in your gas tank, you're going to put out something subpar anyway. And what good is that? So again, between self-care right there, and then also with my coach, Brad Mitchell, and then I have some mentors that are in my life, good friends that I talk to probably every couple of weeks. I always maintain that balance of life. And when I have my daughter on our time, we have our time. She loves science. She loves to draw. She loves to paint. She loves to swim. We're always doing things with Farrah to keep her always into the way of like having a good childhood and a good life.
So what I hear you saying is you're intentional about it and you make time for it to make sure that you're fully committed to whatever it is you're doing at that time. And I think that's important, man. There's a lot of us that complain about not getting things done throughout the day. But, when I started calendar blocking and making sure that when I put something on my calendar, this is what this time is devoted to, and I remove all other distractions, it changed my productivity. But more importantly, it changed the way I walked into the house at the end of the workday. I wasn't in a bad mood. I wasn't dealing with anxiety because I didn't get everything done. And that translated immediately into my little girl being able to read my mind from the second I walked in the door, knowing whether daddy had a good day or a bad day at work. And so if you're somebody who's out there and you're not hitting the self-care piece, I happen to be a believer that if you have your mind, body, and spirit in order, your life's going to work pretty well. The rest of the stuff will figure it out. So we need to read, we need to work out, and we need to meditate, go to church, whatever your religious affiliation is. But I believe that if you do those 3 things and you commit to them, your life is a whole lot smoother and you operate with far more grace. I didn't always do that. Like, my little girl has the ability to read. Literally, the second I walk in the door, she can tell from whatever vibe I'm giving off, whether it's been a good day or a bad day. But here's the other thing, though. I think that, and this is something I've been talking about a little bit just with my crew for the last little bit. We get so caught up in visualization, right? We want to see, name it and claim it. Here's the goal. We're going to dream for it. We're going to work a little bit towards it every day. But what happens when you hit that roadblock? What happens when you hit that slump? And I go back to my days of playing ball, man. And I'm sure that I didn't play football nearly at the level you did. I played in high school, but that's almost like a rec sport at that point, But I did play baseball very competitively. And I thought about this, there's a direct translation of most of our athletic journeys to our professional careers today. If I got in a slump, I didn't visualize the future harder. first thing I do is go back and watch tape and find out what had I done in the past that led me to be successful. What was I doing in my batting stance when I went 400 over those 20 games and I could hit literally anything that was thrown at me? Did I have better pitch selection? Was I focusing on a certain part of the plate? Where was I standing in the box? And I think that so many times we get caught up in visualizing positive outcomes for the future that we don't realize that a lot of times we have a key to success that worked for us and somehow something just fell out of the repertoire, whatever it is. I mean, it's like the story of you don't go to the gym for a day. The next thing you know, you haven't been there for a month, a year, 5 years. It only takes missing one day for the pattern to start. And the reality is the same thing happens in our professional careers. Maybe I've got a go-to line that I've worked on that's gotten me 4 or 5 deals, and then I just forget to use the line one time and I don't get a deal, and that thing falls out of my arsenal and I don't use it again. Well, one of the things that I've done is I've kept a binder, a 3-ring binder of every agent of record letter that I've ever gotten when I've gotten hired on an account. And if I ever hit a slump, I can go back and I can start in page 1. Where I remember what I was wearing that day. I remember who I talked to. I remember what I said. I remember what got the deal done. I remember what I did to deliver on my promises. Guess what? You don't have to get more than about 10 pages into that binder, no matter where you start, before you realize, okay, I got to get back to doing this, this, and this. And you can at least figure out and kind of engineer how to get the train back on the tracks. I think you have to have a healthy dose of both visualization and reflection.
Oh, Dave, here's the thing. Visualization is one of the most powerful tools in our toolbox to get us in a state of wanting to be positive thinking and wanting us to move into a better direction. But reflection is all about looking at what we've done and what has worked and what has not worked. Because when you reflect on that, you can use what worked, as you said, right, Dave? You have your binder and you look at what worked to visualize going forward what you need to do to get back on track. So it is a key aspect to take time and reflect. What do we do, Dave, after a game on the NFL? What is Monday? Film day. That's what it is, right? Monday is film day. Tuesday is your off day, but it's film. What did you do in the game? What did you do when you had a great pass set? When you got beat, did you drop your foot? Did you open the gate? Did you did you have your shoulder not too far back? Did you get your outside hand? I can go on this for days. And that's what it is in business, right? You close some deals. Great. How were you dressed? What were you saying? Were you listening first, talking second? Go do a job. You didn't get it. Did you talk first? Did you not look professional? Did you not say how much value you could bring to people like you brought to other clients? What missed? What was it, right? Figuring out, Dave, what worked and what didn't work is part of us seeing into the future what we want. I visualize, right, Dave, buying a brand new home 12 months after I moved into my apartment. I bought that house 6 months early, right there. I bought a $500,000 house by myself in this market, still not even officially divorced yet. We're in the separation process, right? And I visualized what I wanted, but I reflected back to what worked when I was doing things in my business, getting speaking jobs, getting podcast sponsors, going on shows. And people forget, right, Dave, the power of strategic networking. The minute you said, you have a podcast, I said, Dave, where do I sign up? It didn't take me, where do I sign up? And people forget that. They want to meet somebody and say, how can you hire me? How can I buy? How can you help make me money? It's not about that. Like, how can we have a conversation? How can I get to know you? How can I help you? Right? So if you're wanting to move forward, look at what you did in the past that worked, study it, and apply it going forward in your producing, in your business, in your life, and just keep moving forward.